Hey, Process Mind Podcast. That's what this thing's called? I just had to ask Jonathan what we call this thing. Okay, let's go. What are we doing? What are we talking about? Do your drugs, Burbul. Do your drugs. That's a line. That's one of the most awful things that anyone's ever said to me in pool. I was playing in a tournament, and this guy was super talented player. He was in our state for a while, maybe 5 or 10 years, and he was an aggressive young man, and he was a super gifted, talented player. And I used to play him all the time locally and things. And he told me, I was on a stream, and I was playing him on this stream, and there was commentators, and I was playing him, and it went hill. And I go, I'm going to take a break, go to the bathroom, and get myself together. And I guess when I came back, this is not a surprise because this guy was, like I said, he was completely aggressive and psycho. So all due respect. And he says, when I get back, they go, hey, guess what he said? And I go, I can just imagine. And they said, when you went away, he said on a hot mic, he goes, go in the bathroom and do your drugs, Burbul. And I just thought, oh no, that's awful. So mean. And yeah, I wasn't doing drugs, the drugs that he thought. Now I'm going to tell you, probably this is over a decade ago. And over the last 5 or 6 years, I've been going through this transformation and understanding how ego affects me and my game and my life and my family and business and everything. All right. So bro was half right. After a decade, I realized he was half right. He was right, but for the wrong reason, as we like to say. I was doing my drugs. It wasn't the drugs he was talking about. It was ego. I was going into the bathroom to pump myself up, to be results focused, to try to figure out a way that I could win so that I could, let everybody know I won and carry it around in the pool room on everyone's shoulders, which never happens. It's just like, that's how much BS I put into winning. And so that was the drug of choice, was ego and sort of results. That was my drug I was doing. And now I can look back and say, yeah, that is what I was doing. And that's what caused me a lot of problems. And that's why I'm here trying to help people to sort of learn from my bad beats and my bad decisions and my like addiction, I guess you'd say, that I fought through. I did. I mean, I'm pretty clean right now from it. So now, what's the problem with winning? And what's the problem with wanting to win? And what's the problem with wanting to be results focused? Well, just to continue that drug analogy, the problem is, and this is the problem for me. Now, this is not the problem for anybody else unless it lands with you. So that's my disclaimer. Now, for me, what I realize is that when I played pool, ego and winning and results were my drug. And the problem was, just like real drugs, when a person's an addict, they lose the joy of the high, and they just need to get high so they don't feel awful. And that's what I realize now down the road as well, is that really let me know that I was like a drug addict, because I would win, and it was just to prevent the awful feelings. That's all the reason I wanted to win. I didn't want to win. After a while, I didn't want to win for any other reason to just prevent the awful feelings, right? So I that's it. That's just flat out the way it was. I just realized that now, looking back, and I realize that's like a drug addict, where they don't get the same high, and they're just trying to get away from the low. And that's where it's really sad and pathetic. And that's where, that's bottom, right? And so that's why I said I quit. I hit bottom. I rock bottomed out, and I stopped and quit playing and realized this is not good. Took time off, and now I'm back. And I've went through my process that I've talked about on, I don't know, hundreds of videos now, and that's it. But now I'm just saying, this was part of my realization recently, was that, I'm trying to avoid the awful feeling. It's like when you are hooked on drugs and instead of getting high, you just don't feel sick. And that's basically what I was with pool. I just wouldn't feel sick as long as I could win, right? And it didn't always have to be a tournament. It maybe was like just performing good enough so that I could feel like, okay, I represented myself or whatever it is. And then we're going to go on to the next kind of concept with it is when you're playing pool. When I was playing pool, not you, not anybody, just me. When I was playing pool and I was trying to win to prevent that sick feeling, to prevent the low of loss and all the stuff that went with it, then that's when like fear comes in, right? So now, if you want to get better at pool and have fun doing it, you need to become a channel member. You're going to get weekly mic'd up training sessions with me that only the members see. You're going to have weekly training night live streams, again, only members see, and they're sick. They're awesome. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to have a ton of fun. There's a Q&A stream, and you can be able to ask me questions and send me questions. It's going to be really, really informative. You're also going to get access to the Discord server. It's going to be awesome. You're going to be able to meet all these other cult members, connect with them, all these other weirdos. Hit the join button or go into the description and click on the link. Now, Jonathan made me say this. I'll say it because it's true. Best value in pool training history. It absolutely is. And join and let's grow your game. That's all I got. You start playing with fear of loss, right? And so now I'm fear motivated when I practice and play. I go practice and I just scramble practice mindlessly for hours and hours and hours because I'm like, all I know is that if I just Hulk smash play 10 hours for 2 or 3 days before a tournament, I'll just be more prepared than everybody else and I can just avoid that loss, right? And so was it effective? Yes, of course it was effective. If you play 20 hours in 2 days, even if you're just hitting balls and you have, like I have a natural talent ability to pocket balls and things like that, as long as I'm hitting balls and I have a pool cue in my hand, I will figure out a way how to do it well enough or good enough or effective enough to be able to eke out some performance, right? But it was so fear-based. It was so, yeah, that's it. And so why does it matter, right? Because I was talking to Jolie about this and I said, we were kicking this around and things. And I said, well, what's the problem with being defensive? Like, okay, we'll get to that. First, I'm going to say it ends up you play defensively, right? So when I was even playing, I would play so defensively, not necessarily not going for shots because I was an over-aggressive ball pocketer. So I would go for shots, but my position play, everything was very defensive, like, ooh, just kind of bunting the ball around and hoping. Now, this is where it gets nuanced. In pool, acceleration is everything, okay? And acceleration is how you move up the ranks of pool. It just is. It's like the more, it's how you, not the ranks, it's how you move up your ability to execute is by adding more acceleration. And I watch this by watching professional players play. There's very few professional players that have a bunty, decelerating style, right? They have an accelerating, snappy, aggressive style, okay? So what happens is if you're a person like I was, where you're trying to control the outcome to manufacture a win so that you don't feel sick by the loss, that's a whole different mindset than if you are playing free and playing with joy and attacking or accelerating through the ball into your zone and overall during the match. You're basically playing with more belief, less fear, less guessing, right? More commitment. So all these words that I'm throwing out, they're very important words for playing pool because the opposite of guessing is commitment. The opposite of fear is like fearlessness or belief, right? And so what I'm saying is I played for decades with fear, with deceleration, with buntiness, and with control, right? No real consistent belief, no consistent confidence, no consistent joy, right? Because everything was miserable. Like if you have a chance to study drug addicts, there's not much joy that comes from chasing the high, right? It just is not a joyful thing. And so for me, I didn't get my joy chasing that high. All I got was I didn't have to feel as sick as I would have if I would have lost, And the high was so short. It was so short. So say I won a tournament, right? It could be done by the time I got out to my car. It could be over. And I could just be like, all right, I just got to go do it again tomorrow. Because it's a very different kind of game pool. It's not a game that has a lot of it doesn't have a big crowd to it. It's not like this culture of support and joy and appreciation, right? It's just a different culture. So the problem that I had, and the reason why I got caught up in it, is all my childhood stuff, of course, but also this, a percentage of the pie was, it didn't matter how much I won, because if I didn't win in the right way, if I didn't win big enough, if I won but I had a flaw in my stroke or a flaw in the way I played position, or if I was a ball pocketer and I didn't have a good cue ball, everything got criticized. And so when you're afraid of losing, and you grow up being criticized, and you try to think, well, I'm just going to get really so good at this that nobody can criticize me. Well, this is not a game that lends itself to freedom from criticism. It just isn't. And in most sports aren't. You can look at all sports, and people are fans, and people are watching, and they all think they can GM an NFL team and all that stuff. But so what I'm saying, for me, it was just a really bad mix, because I was so focused on trying to avoid the awful things, of losing and being criticized or whatever. So then I would go and try to win and chase that high and get it. And then someone would criticize me, and then I'm just right back down, and it's an awful up and down thing. And so that was my experience. Doesn't have to be anyone else's experience. I'm just sharing my experience. And I'm saying, when I realized that this was a problem, and I bottomed out, and I said, okay, I can't do this anymore. It's not working. I have to do something completely different. That's when I let go of results. And that's when I said, okay, I'm going to come back to this game, and results are not going to be in the mix. It's going to be a joyful learning game, right? And so it takes years and time and dedication. And then, I finally am in a spot now where I can play with joy. And the thing that happened once I started giving away all the addiction and all the ego and all the everything, and started playing just to learn and have joy and not about the results, what happened was I started to play much better. And specifically, I started letting go of the doubt, letting go of the fear, letting go of the deceleration, and trying to accelerate. And I'm still trying to bring acceleration into my game. It was a problem last year for me when I went to Derby. I was decelerating, and I was doubtful, and I was in I was not in a good spot because of some dealings that I was going through. So I wasn't good when I was out there, happy. I was with my life and family, of course, but some business stuff was on my mind, and it just caused me to be doubtful and decelerate and be a little monkey tilted. And I tried my best and everything like that. But when I went away, I said, acceleration, I need to get acceleration into my game. It needs to be consistent. It needs to be whatever. And I call it attacking. I need to attack the pocket and attack the zone. And that is it. And I know that that's what I need in my game. And that's what's more fun. And that's what brings me more joy, because, for decades, just hoping and wishing and kind of wincing and trying to just trying to hold on to something and control it and trying to manufacture something, not very fun, pretty miserable. And even when it works, and I already went through what happens when it works, it's still doesn't bring you what you want to get brought. But now that I play and I don't care what happens, now I'm loose. Now I'm free. Now I accelerate more. Now I have more belief. Now I can let my cue go. Now I can let the people around me go. I used to be so bothered by playing in front of people. I was literally, it was debilitating, really. And I'm surprised I got over 700 with how shy I am. I know I always say I'm shy, and people are like, what are you, crazy? But it's like, I don't like playing in front of people. So some of it, that was cured by turning on the camera and just forcing myself to be in front of people. So that's a little hot tip. If you don't like playing in front of people, start playing in front of people a lot more and just exposure therapy yourself. That's it. That's one way to do it. But anyway, so that's what I did for that situation. But what I'm saying is, I used to hate that. And now it doesn't bother me because I don't care anymore. I don't care. And since I've been working with Jonathan, he came in, and even before he came in, my whole bit has been turn on the camera and let it rip and make mistakes. And who cares? I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you the misses. I'm going to show you the makes. I'm going to show you when I do well. I'm going to show you when I do bad. I'm going to show you the middle stages too. Same when I do these podcasts. I'm going to tell you guys, these are my problems. These are the things that I had. This is the embarrassing shit that I've gone through. This is the stuff I'm not proud of. These are the beats I've taken, and here's how I kind of got through it. And so, yeah, I could admit I was an ego addict, like a drug addict, right? And when this guy said, go do your drugs, Burbul, he wasn't wrong. He was he was only partially wrong. And it took me some time to learn what was really, what I could really learn from that statement, and what was the real drug that I was doing, and how did that affect my life with my family and with myself and with my friends and with everything, so that's it. So the do your drugs thing. The thing is, for the last 10 years, it's been just something that's been funny. So my wife, when I say, hey, I gotta stay out a little later tonight, she'll text me back, do your drugs, Burbul, or whatever. So, or she'll say, I'm going to go and I need to buy this thing and I'm going to shop or whatever. I'll go, just do your drugs. So it's a funny thing in our family, but it's also a serious thing that I want to share with you guys. And it was a big learning experience for me as of late. And I just thought it was a fun topic to talk about, and just kind of more of the same conversations around trying to fight through this ego situation. So awesome. Guess that's it. Yeah. Hopefully this was helpful to someone out there. When I did this channel, it's funny to look back because I've only been doing it about 4 or 5 months, and it's kind of gone pretty good. But I used to just say, is there one person out there that can kind of find something from what I'm saying? And if they can, I've done something good, and it's worth my time and my energy. And I like that, So, but now I'm seeing there's plenty of people. There's more than one, and that's kind of cool. So I just appreciate it, you guys watching, and I appreciate all the support that we're getting here on the channel, and I just hope that we're just bringing you value, and that we're helping you guys to grow, and hopefully help change the culture of pool a little bit and bring it in a better light. That's the big thing that I want to do as well. So, okay, stare at the camera for 5 seconds and say, we'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, if you made it this far and you haven't joined, just know what you're missing out on, you nit. Just know. I want to say that. I do want to say that. Okay. If you made it this far and you still haven't joined, what? Just know what you're missing out on by not becoming a channel member. Bonus videos, training streams, Q&A streams, Discord server for all the cult members. And then he told me this. Jonathan told me to say this too. It's the best training site in the world, and it's the best community in the world. I believe that. I believe it with all my heart. I know that. I see it. These guys are great. These gals are great. Very supportive. This is the place to train and grow your game.